What's going on, guys? It's Cole, and welcome to GPS Season 7, Week 5. So last week, we kind of got destroyed by Trevor and the Oklahoma Thunderous. So this week, hopefully we can bounce back with a win against Juan and the New York Mankeys. So let's take a look at his team. So for his S tier, he has Infernape. For his A tier, he has Gyarados. For his B tiers, he has Vileplume, Skuntank, Yanmega, and Tauros. And for his C tiers, he has Golem, Hypno, Bastiodon, and Dugong. So the team I'm expecting him to bring is Infernape, Gyarados, Vileplume, Skuntank, Yanmega, and either Tauros, Golem, or Dugong. Because those are the main ones he's brought. Alright, so now let's check out our team. And for our team, we have our usual Mamoswine for our S tier, Suicune for our A tier. For our B tiers, we have Kecleon, Houndoom, our new member Swellow, and Rotom-Frost. And those numbers on Swellow need to be updated because those are the numbers for Abaddon. Swellow has yet to come to a battle because I just picked it up last week and I didn't bring it. I picked it up, I think, after our battle with Trevor. And then we have, like I said, Rotom-Frost. And then for C tiers, we have Lumineon, our new team member Purugly, and then which we got rid of Glalie for. And we also have Pachirisu and Mothim. Alright, so the team that I'm going to be bringing is Mamoswine, Suicune, Houndoom, Swellow, Rotom-Frost, and Purugly. Alright, so let's get into the battle. Alright, so we are getting ready to face off against Juan. So the team that we are bringing is Choice Specs, Rotom-Frost, Mamoswine with a Focus Sash, Suicune with the Wise Glasses, Houndoom with the Charcoal, Swellow with the Flame Orb, and Purugly with the Life Orb. And his team, we almost had. He brought Bastiodon instead of Tauros. So I'm expecting him to lead that off first, because that's most likely going to be his Stealth Rocker. Because I don't think really anything else he has besides Infernape can learn Stealth Rocks. So I lead off with Purugly, and then the rest doesn't matter. So yep, he leads off with Bastiodon, and we lead off with Purugly. So I fake him out to break Sturdy. But he does have the leftovers, so that'll just bring his health back up. So Sturdy will be able to activate again. So I will U-turn because the Steel type does resist, but Rock doesn't, so hopefully the leftovers won't heal up too much. So then I go into Mamoswine. So you get some leftovers recovery. And I anticipated that he would either switch into Yanmega or Gyarados, expecting an Earthquake. So I went for an Icicle Crash. does switch out, but he goes into Infernape instead. So if I had gone for Earthquake, Infernape would have died. So I go for Icicle Crash and take out half of his health on a crit. So I thought about swapping out, but I'm like, wait, my Focus Sash is still intact, so there's no way he can kill me. Unless he faked out, but he didn't. He went for close combat, knocked us down to Sash, so we kill it with Earthquake. He then sends out Yanmega, which I know is choice spexed. So I figured I'll just do some damage with Ice Shard before Mamoswine dies. So Mamoswine gets off an Ice Shard, does a little more than half Yanmega's health, who will then KO it with U-turn. So on the plus side to him using U-turn, I get to see what he sends out next. So then I can choose what I'm going to throw out in response to that. So he sent out Gyarados. So I send out Maytag. Who will take some Stealth Rocks damage, and his Gyarados has Moxie because Intimidate didn't pop up. So I expect him to switch out into something that would resist, like maybe Vileplume. But nope, he switches out into Bastiodon. Who takes the Choice Specs Thunderbolt pretty well, but gets paralyzed. I will say, I looked up right after this, and I thought Bastiodon had much lower special defense, but nope, it has very good in both defenses. So, because I thought it was one of those physically defensive Pokemon that couldn't take special attacks very well, but nope, it can. This was a very great switch out, by the way. I switched out into Aurora the Suicune, and he went for Metal Burst, expecting me to attack, but nope. So I expected him to switch out here, which he did, so I went for a Calm Mind. He swaps back in Gyarados, So yep, I go for the Calm Mind. So I figured he's probably going to go for like an Earthquake or something. Which he does. We take pretty well. And I set up a Reflect. Probably unnecessary, but I figured, hey, why not? So I look to see how much Ice Beam will do to Gyarados. He switches Gyarados out and sends out Skuntank. Who takes a small chunk from Ice Beam. So I decide to go for a Scald. He goes for a Sucker Punch. Does barely anything. We get the Scald off. Bring him down to red. And then I go for Ice Beam. He goes for a Poison Jab, which again does a very small amount, and we will kill Skuntank with Ice Beam. So that's 2 down on his side, 4 to go. So he then sends out Vileplume. So I go for another Ice Beam. Bring it down to yellow. And he misses a Sleep Powder. He gets some recovery from the Black Sludge. And my Reflect wears off. So I go for another Ice Beam, and we will knock out Vileplume, bringing his team down to 3. He then sends out Yanmega, who's at just below half health. So I expect this Giga Drain would kill, but because of the Calm Mind, we live at 15 HP. So he gets some recovery back from the Giga Drain, and we will kill him with Ice Beam. So now it's Gyarados and Bastiodon versus our 5 Pokemon. He then sends out Gyarados, who I know will outspeed us, but I expect him to go for another Earthquake. So I thought about bringing Swellow out, but just in case he didn't go for an Earthquake, I went into Rotom, who takes some more from Stealth Rocks, and he does go for the Earthquake. So I know Rotom's faster than Suicune, which means it probably outspeeds Gyarados. So I wasn't sure if he was going to swap out here, but I went for a Thunderbolt anyway. He doesn't, and Gyarados will die to Thunderbolt. So now it's 5v Bastiodon. So they send out Bastiodon, who's paralyzed. So I go for another Thunderbolt. I remember the Stealth Rocks, so I didn't want to send Suicune out, because it would have just straight up died. So I go for Thunderbolt. He takes a small chunk, and he will roar us out. And out comes Houndoom. He takes a small chunk from Stealth Rocks. Bastiodon gains health back with leftovers. And then I just go for... I probably could have gone for Nasty Plot, and you'll see why. So we get off the charcoal boosted flamethrower. Bring him down to red, and he goes for Metal Burst. But it doesn't kill us, because we did just enough damage where Metal Burst doing double damage wouldn't kill us, so that's good. So another flamethrower will end game 1. I will see you guys in game 2. Alright, we are at the start of game 2, and I'm switching up my lead, so I go with Suicune instead of Purugly. So yeah, so we won game 1 with 5 Pokemon remaining. That was awesome. So as I figured, he leads with Bastiodon. So we lead with Suicune. So I go for Calm Mind, because I know he's going to go for Stealth Rocks. So I expected him to either switch out or go for Metal Burst. So I went for another Calm Mind. But instead, he just goes for a Roar, which is fine. No big deal. So Mamoswine comes out, breaks my sash with the Stealth Rocks. So I expect him to maybe switch out, so I go for my own Stealth Rocks. So he does. He goes out into Gyarados instead. So I go for Stealth Rocks. So I expect him to go for a Waterfall. And I know Rotom can outspeed. I mean, I know Waterfall is a neutral hit on Rotom, but it's fairly bulky-ish. So he takes some Stealth Rocks damage. He does go for a Waterfall. Takes us down to 24 HP. I go for a Thunderbolt. He switches out, as I figured he would. He goes into Bastiodon. Breaks sturdy with Stealth Rocks. He takes a small chunk from Thunderbolt and once again gets paralyzed. By the way, welcome to the game of status conditions. For his team, not mine. You'll see why later. So I figure I'll just go for Thunderbolt, and he's probably going to go for Metal Burst. I'm just going to sack off my Rotom. So we get the Thunderbolt off, bring him down to yellow, and he will kill us with Metal Burst. So Rotom's the first to die this turn, this game. So I can go back into Suicune. We'll take a small amount from Stealth Rocks. So I go for a Scald. And he just sacrifices Bastiodon. Then sends out Vileplume. So I go for Ice Beam. And freeze Vileplume. He gets a little health back from the Black Sludge. So I expect he's probably gonna swap Vileplume out, so I go for a Calm Mind. So he, as I figured, he withdraws Vileplume and sends out Skuntank.
takes a little bit from Stealth Rocks. We get the Calm Mind up. So I go for another Calm Mind instead of a Reflect. But he goes for a Defog, so he'll get rid of both my Stealth Rocks and his, while also dropping our Evasiveness, but that doesn't matter. If I wanted to, I could get my Stealth Rocks back up again, but granted, so could he. Actually, no, I forgot. I killed Bastiodon, so my Hazard Setter is still alive, his isn't. So I expected him to go for a Sucker Punch, but he didn't. He went for a Crunch. But I went for a Reflect anyway. Then I go for a +2 Scald. He goes for Poison Jab. Doesn't get the poison. I hit him with Scald and burn him, but it's immediately healed by his Lumberry, so that's fine. I don't really care because Skuntank's not doing much through the Reflect. So he goes for another Poison Jab. Again, doesn't get the poison. So Skuntank will die to Scald. So far, between these two games, Suicune has 5 KOs. So he then sends out Yanmega, and I'm just now realizing I have literally 3 more HP than I did in the last game, but I couldn't remember at the time, so I wasn't sure if Giga Drain would kill me here. So I figured, hey, if he kills me, that's fine, whatever. So he goes for Giga Drain. We live on 44 HP, so we will kill the Yanmega with a +2 Ice Beam. So Suicune's now at 10 KOs for the season. So here, I just sack off Suicune, because I'm like, you know what, it's fine, whatever. She can go down. Instead, he went for Ice Fang, probably hoping for a flinch or a freeze. He doesn't get either. So we get off +2 Ice Beam, which he takes a small chunk from. Reflect wears off, so now I expect him to go for Earthquake. I mean, Earthquake probably would have killed from 44 HP as well. But again, yeah, so Earthquake will kill, that's fine. He gets the Moxie boost. in game 1, Swellow never even hit the field. So we send out Purugly. I go for a fake out. And he withdraws Gyarados, which I didn't expect, and sends out Infernape. We'll take a fair amount of damage from this Life Orb boosted fake out. Yeah, it does about a third or so, or a quarter. So I know we outspeed, so we hit him with a Body Slam, bring him down to very low, and he gets paralyzed. And he immediately gets fully paralyzed. So I go for a slash. And he went for a Mach Punch and gets fully paralyzed again. I felt so bad for him on that turn. He got fully paralyzed 2 turns in a row. What are the odds? So Purugly kills Infernape with Slash. Jolly Purugly outspeeds max speed Infernape. Ironically, this fat cat should not be this fast. So I go for a Body Slam into Gyarados, because I know I outspeed. I bring him down into the red, and he gets paralyzed as well. But his follow-up Waterfall gets a crit and knocks out Purugly. Which is fine. I mean, there's not much he can do now. Because it's Gyarados, it's a paralyzed red health Gyarados, and a frozen Vileplume versus Mamoswine, Swellow, and Houndoom. So I send out Swellow, who will knock out Gyarados with a Facade. His Custat Berry activates, and he gets fully paralyzed. I really felt bad for him at this point. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? 3 different times he gets fully paralyzed, 2 on priority turns. So we get burned by the Flame Orb, activating our Guts. So he sends out Vileplume, and we will knock it out with a Brave Bird. So we win 2 games in a row. We advance to 2-3 after our dismal showing against Oklahoma last week. So good game 1. I'm sorry about the status conditions. That was just terrible luck on your part, and really good luck on mine. And he falls to 1-4. So next week we go up against Tom's replacement in the majors, the LA Kinglers. So thank you guys for watching. I will post a card towards the beginning of this video. When Ryan's video goes live, I'll just edit it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.